All right. Trading today. Let me clear the charts up. First off, news. There was no news Monday on non-farm payroll week, and the heck, on the 4-hour. Let's market open. Okay. On the 4-hour, we were bullish. I don't really base too much off of the 4-hour unless there's a S&P, but going into market open, I marked out all of the highs. So previous day high, then Asia low, or just around Asia low, hourly low, another hourly low, really one of those down here, but I just marked it out as another hourly low. So same thing over here, no SMTs. Previous day high, hourly high was taken, and there was a low, hourly low, and then a really low, and then these are just equal lows down here. So with this, if I move this back, looking at it on the hourly, we had equal lows down here, and just this was the only high that was left on both pairs before market open. And I just marked this as pretty much external liquidity, and then this over here was the other side of external liquidity on both pairs. And then this is just kind of internal liquidity of the range, hourly lows. There wasn't a lot of structure going into market open. There wasn't a lot of structure. We were above midnight opening price, but this was the only high, so I wanted this high to get taken out to go lower, and I just knew it was gonna, high probability chance it was gonna be taken out on market open. So after I mark all the hourly highs, I go to the 5-minute and I mark out 5-minute highs as well. And I'm extremely bearish today. My bias is bearish before market opens. Okay. Now on the 5-minute and the 15-minute, there was no structure, so no 15-minute fair value gaps and no 5-minute structure, so it's just straight up. So before market open today, I was leaning towards, I wanted to wait for a 5-minute like break of structure, a 5-minute displacement to the downside, or a 5-minute imbalance being disrespected. Even though I do exit on the 1-minute occasion, like I don't wait necessarily for a 5-minute confluence all the time. Today, since there was a little structure, I wanted to wait, but I did not. So market opened instantly, came up on ES, and did not in the first minute keep going on ES. So when we took this high, I noted this imbalance, and with the coming minutes, it displaced. So this is what I was waiting for. This is the entry I use. Is a imbalance being disrespected and then a displacement to the downside. So it failed to do any of that, and it was just moving down on NASDAQ. So I assumed there'd be a hourly SMT. But if we go on the 5-minute, there's still no real shift in structure on the 5-minute, and that was the flaw of the day, and why this was a losing day is because I entered on the retracement to the order block, aiming for these lows. Pretty sure my stop was up here actually. I entered on the retracement to the order block. I didn't really wait for the fair value gap. Maybe I could have, but the reason I didn't wait for the fair value gap to get filled like I would usually is because we were so displaced down. Like I thought we were just gonna move down. Another thing, before I continue on this, is when we opened, we took out these 1-minute lows. I don't think there were 5-minute lows, these 1-minute lows. On the 15-second, the same exact model came up where we opened, shot down, took out these lows, disrespected this 15-second imbalance, displaced right here, and I could have entered. Right here, I probably would have put my stop there just for a good risk reward. So that's what it would look like. But I didn't end up doing that. Just a thought, because I'm starting to see if I could execute on the 15-second. If I'm given confluences to to execute on the 15-second, I will. Anyways, going back onto this, I entered, no 5-minute confluence like I wanted to wait for, but since this was such a perfect example of my entry model, I entered. But soon I was stopped out, and that gave price on NASDAQ to move up and also take out this high. So now the trade I should have taken, I should have waited for a 5-minute confluence like such. So it would have been displacement. There's no fair value gap to be disrespected on ES. There is on NASDAQ, but by the time we would disrespect that and also displace our take profit, our first one would be right there. So initially I'm just leaning towards this. So going on 5 more minutes, bam, we displace on the 1-minute. I could enter with the retracement to this order block and put stops above that, and this would be the these. Actually, initially, if I entered either way, I would enter on the retracement to this order block, and I would probably put my stop just above this high of this candle, just for a better risk reward, and I just wouldn't see price moving up all the way to that. In the next candle, we actually make a fair value gap, so I also could have entered on a fair value gap like this and have a better risk reward, but I don't exactly know which one I would have chose, but on the 1-minute, Just waiting. Entered. Meanwhile, on NASDAQ, we took these lows out. But just, if I just hit play, would have moved around. Would have came to down, bam, and all lows would have been taken, and actually external liquidity would have also been taken, I'm pretty sure, at some point. So I could have, if I entered, held all the way. Maybe it was NASDAQ that did neither of them hit. Alright, never mind. Neither of these hit, but we still went down, took out the 4 hourly lows and equal lows that I wanted to see taken out. So, conclusion of the day, I think I initially jumped the gun, maybe. I've been having a problem with understanding where price is going to want to go for the day, but jumping to conclusion without waiting exactly for what I thought I would need. Like going into market, I'm bearish. I want to see this high taken, but since there's little structure on the 5 minute, I would kind of want to wait for a 5 minute confluence, which I didn't because I just simply had FOMO. And even though my entry model came out perfectly on the 1 minute, I should have been more patient and just let price move down if it wanted to move down. And this would have been a win. So one thing moving forward now is that I just need to be patient. Patience is key to my trading and how this would have been a win. So unprofitable trade, and I was profitable last month in March by a couple R's. It was kind of break even, but it was still more on the profitable side. And this month, April, it's pretty much just a break even month. And I think I'm gonna do monthly trade recaps and just like loss recaps to go over the mistakes I made that I can easily change, because it's really just psychology, really, that I know I could be better on. And then hopefully it'll just be change things. Because when I win fairly decent trades. Like, it's not a bad trade. I follow my models. Yeah.